to the Empowered by UMortgage podcast. This is our final episode of season 1, and I am very happy to be joined by one of my friends and another one of my favorite people, Kristin Allen, Senior SVP of Sales with United Wholesale Mortgage. Kristin, welcome to Empowered by UMortgage podcast.
Awesome. Yes. Thank you for having me. I'm so very excited. Thank you.
Well, heck yeah. I just got to spend a couple warm and sunny days with you in Arizona.
Yeah, it was absolutely beautiful. It was actually more than what I expected, and just an absolute amazing time, and good weather, good company. So it was the best.
That was so fun. So we'll tell everybody kind of what we did. So last weekend, I guess it was a week and a half ago now, UMortgage did our first ever Empowered by UMortgage Summit, where the women of UMortgage from all across the country, from coast to coast and in between, got together in person for our first ever summit. And it was an incredible turnout. We had amazing and generous sponsors. UWM was an amazing sponsor. So not only did you generously support us and, had an awesome dinner for us at the Italian Daughter in Scottsdale, but you came out in person to join us for our professional day, which was incredible. So I'd love to hear, a little bit about that from your perspective and how that was, because I thought it was just so powerful, but you do this all the time. So tell us your perspective.
No, first off, just what an honor it was to be there and to get the opportunity to meet all these amazing women of UMortgage. So that in itself was awesome. And then just the attention to detail that you guys had. I mean, from the little gifts when you got there, the welcome gifts, and just the setup. I mean, the venues were absolutely amazing. And it was just all day, just great content, awesome takeaways for the women that were there to go and implement things into their business, or just, maybe not even professionally, maybe in their personal lives. So I think it was very motivational. Sometimes, in the industry, you just kind of get in that slump and you're like, I don't know what I should be doing or which way I should be going or where my support system is. So I think you collaborating on that and bringing that all together, that just helps, not only give them a new perspective maybe on their business, but also giving them some takeaways of things that they can go back and implement. So I think all around, just with the team building and with the content, just absolutely amazing.
Yeah, it's so funny. It's like when we planned it for a long time and tried to be so intentional and really think about the how, but also, there were so many women from different, levels of the business, people that were, just starting out or very, new into the business, to people that have, been in the business for, 30 years or 20 years. And so when you have that broad of an audience, like, how do you put together a really meaningful event that sort of encompasses all of those different perspectives so that it can really be meaningful for, for all of it? And it was kind of like some of them I felt needed to be like ignite the passion, and some of it is like reignite. Like for me, I've been doing this 24 years, and it's been, we've been going through a challenging time in our industry. So much of it was like reigniting that passion. I love this industry, and I really wanted to like hone into, why I love it so much, like what excites me about what I get the privilege of doing every day and how important it is, and like the mindset and the positivity and like leaning into my gifts and my superpower and really just, and like the why behind it, but reigniting some of that. And I really feel like we accomplished that, and I was really proud of really all of it.
And I know, it can be a very, very rewarding industry. I mean, you're helping borrowers every single day, and it's the biggest purchase of their life, or even if they're refinancing, the biggest investment. And, as rewarding as it is, there are days that, it's very exhausting too. So just having that time, like you said, just to kind of get away and just, reignite that in yourself. And like you said too, you had such an array of people that were there. I mean, I forget who it was, and you probably know that she had just started that same week.
Yeah.
And she's like, I can't even believe like I'm here. And it was just such a refresher for her, because she's like, I've never been a part of this ever before. And so just the people that have been there for so long, and then just to see somebody that was like, I literally just started on the team this week.
Yeah.
And
This is my first week at UMortgage, and oh my gosh, if this is what it's like the investment and the people and the quality of relationships, and it can be an incredibly difficult journey. And if you have quality relationships and it's built on a foundation of trust and companionship and partnership, like I come to work every day and I fight for these women. And when you have the opportunity to build that deepness and that depth in your relationship, then it's a totally different deal. And that I think is what we had hoped to accomplish. And then it's, what do we do when we come home? How does that ripple effect? How do you go out in your market and with your referral partners and with your clients, take that away so that then you can have influence and positively impact the people that you get to come into contact with every day?
100%. And that was, one of the things I really wanted to make sure at the end, just being a part of the lending side, just making sure too, they take those relationships that they built and they continue to have those support systems together. When you're having a bad day, reach out to somebody that was there and be like, okay, I need a little pick me up. It is so important to have that.
It's so true. And we can really do that for others. And we can do that for our referral partners, for our clients, for our family members. And it's just so important. It was so funny. So the first day we had the welcome ceremony. So that was amazing. That was at this just amazing restaurant that's right there in Scottsdale. So that was a lot of fun. Then our second day was kind of more professional development. And then day 3 was more active. So it was so funny because we went to Todd and Evie's house and did, just this like workout class in the morning and did some bonding and hanging out together. And then we embarked on a hike, and Evie led the hike. And it was so interesting because she had never done it specifically before. And, it was like a 2-hour thing. She, had kind of mapped it all out, and she thought, oh, this is going to be nice. It's going to be beautiful and scenic, and the views are going to be great. But she'd never done it before herself. But, she kind of wanted it to be, a great exercise, but not necessarily too insane. Like Anthony specifically was like, let's not get anybody airlifted off Camelback Mountain, for example. And I was like,
Exactly.
I promise you, I will make sure that everybody is safe. And as you know, it ended up being kind of
hiking Camelback Mountain. It was so fun though.
It ended up being kind of intense. And at the end of it, she was like, Karin, oh my God, I had no idea. She was almost
she was worried.
She was
I wasn't expecting
bad and feeling like, oh my gosh, what did I just do? And I took her aside and I said, Evie, I am telling you what, those women on that hike for the last 2 hours, they worked together. They supported one another. We rested when we needed to rest. We talked through it with each other. There were times where people were scared and they had to support one another and talk each other through it. We worked on mindset. We accomplished something really freaking difficult and we did it together. And there was so much symbolism in what we accomplished together on that freaking mountain that we would not have felt had we not pushed ourselves through and did it together and done something hard. I said, you have no idea how impactful that was and how perfect that was as the culmination of that day. And it was awesome. It was such a perfect embodiment of what we went through.
And I think just women, obviously we didn't know really what to expect, but as we're walking and hey, we're encouraging each other. We're almost there. And how many women actually push themselves to do something maybe they wouldn't have done before. And then when they were done, they were like, wow, I want to do that again.
Yeah, no, you're absolutely right. Yeah, and the pride that we felt, and the realization that shit, we just did that and we did it together, and we're like high-fiving and feeling so accomplished. And it was just so much an important reminder of the things that we accomplish every single day. And you can look back on the last year and a half and go, we have made it. There are thousands of people that were doing this job that are no longer in this business. And guess what? We are still here. We are still working hard every day. We're still succeeding and winning every single day and showing up and trying and working together. And there's so much power and so much hope in that message. Like, it was awesome and incredible. And I was so proud of everyone, and so grateful that we had that experience, because it wouldn't have been the same if it was just a casual, like, walk through, some beautiful scenery.
Absolutely. And I think overall, you and the team that put it together, I mean, you guys found such a perfect balance. I mean, there was so much, like I said, a lot of great content for people to learn from, activities, the team building, people getting to know each other, and then the downtime that you guys had in the evenings and the dinners. And I think it was just such a great balance overall over the course of those few days that I'm excited to see the next one, and the growth too, because obviously there's going to be a lot more people joining.
Well, and I want to thank you guys too, sincerely, because when we started this, we didn't really know what it was going to look like, or how it was going to unfold, or how it was going to manifest. And I just reached out and said, hey, this is what we're proposing. This is what we're thinking. And, UWM's always been an amazing partner. And you just said immediately yes. And how can we support you? And how can we help? And, you taking the time out of your schedule to come out and support in person and do the panel. Like, it was so important, and I appreciate it so much. And I just think it was awesome, and it's just the start. And I'm just excited to see where it will go. But we're just so grateful for awesome partners like you, and it was just really great. So
me too, and it goes vice versa too. We are just as appreciative of you guys, because if it's not for UMortgage and companies alike, I mean, that's what keeps us going. So
heck yeah. Well, I love your story, and I think it's really, really incredibly powerful. But I would love to share, if you don't mind, a little bit about your journey. Like, how long have you been at UWM, and how did you get your start in the mortgage industry? Because I think that's incredibly interesting too. None of us came here intentionally. Literally, it's like the mortgage industry is almost like the island of misfit toys. We just all seem to come here by happenstance, and I think it's interesting.
Kind of trip into it, and then here we are 2 decades later.
Right.
Yeah. So UWM, I've been here for over 14 years, which is sometimes crazy to think, because while it has been a long time, it almost seems like yesterday too. And
Yeah.
I feel like, it's been so much, it's been fun. Obviously, I've built a lot of great friendships. It's been very rewarding. It's helped build me into the older woman that I'm becoming. Obviously, I started here, or not obviously, but I did start here when I was about 30 years old. So, still growing in my personal life and professional life. And it's just been such an awesome place to be. And before I came to UWM, I was in the broker world for a little over 6 years. So I started as a telemarketer. After my first son was born, I had just amazing how I found them. It was a woman-owned brokerage just right around the corner from where I lived. And they had a little ad in the paper, and I reached out to them, and I came on and started as a telemarketer, just reaching out to borrowers, looking to see if they wanted to purchase a home or refinance. And, I had so much opportunity within that company, and, they helped, mold me and teach me a lot about the mortgage industry. So telemarketer to processing, to a processing manager, to a loan originator, to having the opportunity to have my own branch. So I learned a lot from them, and they really supported me along the way. And Terry and Kathy, just a great support system in my early years of mortgages. And then after that, coming to UWM has been nothing but a blessing for me.
That's awesome. That is so cool. And how many years have you been at UWM now?
Just over 14. So I started here in August of 2010. I started as an account executive, and after 2 years became a team leader, still in production. And then now for a little over 10 years, been an AVP, and I have run multiple divisions, got to work with so many great AEs. And over that period of time, every division I've led anywhere between 40. Right now I'm about up to 55, close to 60 account executives. So it's, again, something that's so rewarding. I mean, I feel like I have like a piece in everybody's success that's under me. And it's just such an awesome feeling when you see people doing great things and building relationships, and, you know, just here for years and years to come too.
So what does a day in the life of Kristin at UWM, like a badass executive, look like? Like what does a day in your life at UWM look like?
Yeah, so a lot of time with my AEs, a lot of time with my team leads. I mean, I am in the weeds of the day-to-day of, you know, not only my business, but their business too. And they know if they need me or they have questions or they need support, like I sit right in the middle of my division. So here's me and then 3 teams on each side. So again, I try and be involved in every aspect that I can, but so I meet a lot with senior leadership in the morning. I first get in the morning, have a little cup of coffee, get my day started, get the small stuff off my plates, and then I have a meeting with senior leadership in the morning. You know, what's our tone for the day? What are our topics? What are things?
What do those look like? Like, give me examples. What do you guys like? What did this morning look like?
Yeah, so we recap what happened yesterday. What did our production look like? What did our effort look like from a company and from our division? Shout outs to the account executives that put up some awesome numbers. So always recognizing teams too. But then just maybe some housekeeping stuff, maybe something they need to know about our technology or one of the tools that maybe we're focusing on. And then just a lot of motivational topics. You know, how is the month looking so far? Are you setting your small goals? What can I do to help push through the end of the month? So just depending on where we are, but just a lot of motivational things just to kind of create that energy in the morning. Like, let's get out of the gate early, and the same thing in the afternoon. You know, how do we keep that energy going until the bell rings? And we're firm 40. So we're 8 hours in the office. We don't require anything more. So like, how are you giving your all when you're here for 8 hours? So
I love that. Like, how do you guys maintain that? Because I feel like so often there's this like real heavy focus on, oh my God, if you're not waking up at 3 a.m. and working until 2 a.m., it's like maintaining this like insane amount of like off balance. So that's interesting to hear that perspective of like, no, we're a firm 40. Like, I'd love to just hear that analysis and kind of talk through that a little bit.
Yeah, and obviously there's still the people that do that. They still do the 3
Yeah, no, it's
and it works for some people. But we are very big on promoting, you know, the 8 hours a day, the 40 a week. And it's hard in sales because sales, you're basically the CEO of your own business. Like you're running your own business. So not to say when they walk out of here at 6 o'clock or they walk out of here at 7 o'clock that they're done for the day. They're not, but just knowing you don't have to be here, like get out, like go take care, be with your family, go get your kids to bed. And maybe you do take a call at 10 p.m. when it's, 7 p.m. on the West Coast. So I think every AE has a good grasp on their business outside of here, but being here, being together, being a team, we're pushing in the same direction for 8 hours. And then you run your business as you want when you walk out of here.
I love that.
Yeah.
How do you handle it when you've got somebody that is struggling? Like, I know that there are people that are struggling. Like, how do you as a leader help them? Like, because I know that it's not always helpful to just be like rah, rah, rah. So like, what are the like tangible ways that you can really support somebody that is struggling? Like, what do you say? What do you do? How do we support people when the rah, rah is not motivating or helping? Like, how do we help those people? How do we get them back on track?
Yeah, it is really important too, as much as we love the motivation and we love the rah, rah, like, we know too, like there's a point where, like, no, let's be real. Maybe somebody is really struggling and they're like, hey, my business isn't where I want to be, or, I don't even think I can pay rent this month or next month. And I'm second guessing like everything that I'm doing. And it's just really sitting down and having that conversation and just understanding. And that's kind of where I step in and kind of explain to, the things I had to do when I first started out in the industry. And, did I have to rob Peter to pay Paul sometimes? Absolutely. Did I, go to my parents and be like, hey, I'm struggling. Can you help me out a little bit this month? And friends, and just really explain to them there are options. So mentally, just, how can I help? Just kind of digging in. And it's really understanding like, where are they mentally? And this job does take a lot of, mental toughness at times. So just trying to have that understanding and talking them through it and letting them know I'm here. Like if you're having a bad day or maybe you had a bad phone call, like let's step off the sales floor. Let's go get a coffee. Let's just take a walk. If it's something just personally, kind of same thing, just know I'm here for you if you want to talk about something. So just really trying to be, real, more of a friend at that time than I'm your leader. So I think it does take a good balance for sure.
And I think that's something that I see being such an important and wonderful quality in the female leaders that I've come into contact with. And I definitely know that to be the case about you, is just leading from that position of empathy. And you just totally said it. Like you're, SVP of the biggest wholesale lender on the planet. Like the fact that you can say, listen, I've been there. I understand, leading from a place of empathy and not like from this like high tower over here. I just think that's really beautiful and really wonderful that you're able to do that and have that relationship. Like you said, that's so important because you've built that trust and you have that foundation again, which goes back to why it's so important that we get together in person, that we do this investment in our people and in our teams, because that's how those relationships are built, so that when there are difficult situations that we need to go through together, you've got that, that currency built up that you can utilize. I think that's so awesome and important.
And I would say too, so I schedule one-on-ones with every single team member that I have every single month. So half hour, you are on my calendar to meet with at least once a month. If you need more time, you need more time. But when we do sit down for the one-on-one, and this is something that I learned from, my senior leader, Anthony Frederick, anytime I sit down with somebody, it's like, how is your head? How is your heart? How are you feeling?
Oh, I love that.
And that's something that he's always done. And I picked that from him, and I was like, I'm leading that. And that's kind of how, I open my one-on-ones, like, how are you doing? How are you feeling? So then we get into the business and all the good stuff. So
I like that. How's your head? How's your heart? Yeah. And does that part of the one-on-one, is that sometimes 2 minutes and sometimes it's the whole one-on-one, or how do those go?
Depends. Some people are like, I am great. I feel great. Everything is good. I'm loving life. And then of course you have the conversations that are like, I'm struggling a little bit.
I'm going through it.
Yeah. So it does depend. And sometimes the half hour goes to an hour, and then that's okay too.
And how do they schedule those? Like, is it just like same time, same place every month? Or because you have a big team, Kristin, like how do you do that?
So I put together the calendar. I send out a monthly calendar. It's got everybody's name on it. Comes out to about 2 people. 3 people per day for half hours. So I send that out at the beginning of the month. They know their date, they know their time. If it doesn't work, they can swap with somebody. And then as soon as that calendar goes out, you put yourself in my calendar and your time's locked in. So
awesome.
Just kind of keep it easy and consistent every month.
I think that's so incredible. I love what you guys are doing. So what's coming up next? We've got Q4. We're like in it. We've been doing at UMortgage like business planning with our referral partners. We're like deep into level up sales coaching. We are tracking our activities. We're like leaning into our theme days. Like we are consistency, motivation, daily activities. Like we are so focused on really just the momentum that we've created, because we've seen so many people during Q4 just get distracted, right? So they're distracted by everything. Holidays, everyone's, getting just totally distracted. Tends to be a little slower. It's darker. The weather's coming in. Everyone's distracted. Like we're not there. We are serious. We're getting into it. Like what is UWM doing? And like how can we work together to make sure that we end the year strong so that we can carry that momentum right in through and have a great 2025?
Yeah, same thing. So like you said, we know people get distracted, like, hey, I'm just going to wait till after the holidays or wait till after the new year to really start getting things going again. So just trying to keep people motivated. I know from our side, from account executives, it's helping keep their clients motivated. Like, all right, so this is what everybody's doing, or are we looking at doing some of the same things? Internally, we focus a lot on coaching, a lot on training, especially when we have a little bit more downtime or we're not as busy. We do what's called P5 training, so continuous improvement. And those are our classes. Typically, every year we want you to do about 5 classes a year. You can pick what the topic is, but we do everything from like, how does our finance team work? What are some leadership styles? So it's just a broad variety of classes, how to maybe budget your finances. So about the company or even personally, but, take up a couple of them when things are a little bit slower. So all about coaching, all about continuous improvement. And then just really kind of reanalyzing your business too, going into the new year. Like, who are your solid people that we're running forward with? Who are the people that you need just, you to help pick them up and give them some ideas to start generating some more business now. So it's really a variety of things, and it's stuff we've done year over year that's worked, and we just continue to do that. It seems like every November through January is when we're really making those pushes.
God, I love it. So what are some things that loan officers can be and should be doing right now that can help them generate some business, be successful, like get their mindset in the right place? Like, what should we be doing so that we can, be busy and successful and thriving going into, Q4 and into 2025?
I will just say focus on like what you feel your areas of opportunity are. Like, where do you feel you need to be stronger going into next year? And maybe that is, focusing on some different variety of products maybe to offer your borrowers, or whatever that looks like for you, and finding some different resources. And I, a little UWM plug here for everybody out there is, we have so many different things: Partner Academy, virtual classes. If for some reason you can't leave your office, and we have Success Track. And
yes, oh my gosh, you have to Success Track Go. They're so good.
Yes, come out here. We pay hotel, we pay airfare, we got your food covered. Like, we take care of all of it just for you to be able to come out and invest in yourself. And it is beautiful in Michigan during these months. So if you want to get away from a little bit of heat, we have a little bit of snow.
That's awesome. Look at that positive mindset, Kristin Allen.
Yes, yeah. We'll go make snow angels.
That is so awesome. I love it. No, I love coming out. It's always great to see you guys. And really, honestly, like that, it's so generous. And you learn something every time you go. You build relationships. It really is. It's important to do. Well, I am so grateful for you coming on the EmpowHERed podcast. Thank you. And seriously, thank you so much for all of your guys' support. I had a great time with you in Arizona. We're going to do it next year. We're already starting to plan it. So I am so grateful for you. Thank you for coming on today. I will see you at UWM at the next Success Track, and I'll see you in Arizona next year.
I love it. Thank you for everything. Thank your team for everything. We appreciate you guys. And yeah, I'll see you soon.
Awesome, Kristin. Have a good one. I'll talk to you soon.
Thank you. You too.